Hi everyone, it's Jasmine, part of the Eternal Circle, also known as the Psychic Mummy. Tonight I'm going to be discussing grounding. Some of you might know what it is, some of you might not know what it is, and some of you might know what it is but don't really know how to do it. And that's completely okay. So that's why I'm here discussing grounding. It is very late, I'm going to say that now. It is midnight. Okay, so if I am stumbling on my words, I apologize. Um, but it is what it is. Okay, so grounding, what is it? Okay, grounding is a tool. It's utilized when doing spiritual work to help anchor our spirit or soul, whatever you want to use. Um, I say spirit, okay, into our physical vessel. So we keep it meshed together, okay? We utilize earth energy to help center, stabilize, and keep focus and keep us in the now and present time. All right. Not only should it be utilized during spirit work, but it should be utilized throughout the day. Okay. Um, Sometimes throughout the day, we might be feeling emotionally imbalanced, mentally scattered, or even in physical pain. Okay, and that's where grounding kind of helps us during those states. Okay, now for the most part, typically most people are too distracted by technology, by their daily lives, or just by being mentally secluded in their own minds. Okay, we are busy feeling our emotions and not being with our emotions. Okay, meaning we're not assessing our emotions uh, and where they are coming from. Okay, and when we are not assessing our emotions and where they're coming from, that can really put a pull on us, especially when we might be empaths. Okay. Oftentimes, when we are not grounded, we end up daydreaming, okay, focus on the future, and it can lead to destabilization between physical and spirit, okay. We may feel anxious or angry, or we even may feel more susceptible to other people's feelings, okay. So we're picking up on other people's emotions, okay. Grounding allows us to be with our emotions, to assess them, okay. And when we're able to assess our emotions, we're able to pick out our emotions versus other people's emotions, okay? Which is very key, okay? So when we're able to pick that out, we're able to let go of other people's emotions. And when we let go of other people's emotions, we want to remember to let go with warmth and not fling it back. Okay, just because someone flung some dirt at us at the sandbox doesn't mean we fling it back either. Okay, because that's not very nice. Two wrongs don't make a right. Okay, remember karma. All right, what we want to do is just send that back with warmth. Okay, as best as we're able to. Okay, um, this is part of our healing. Okay, this is part of self care. Um, as this is part of our journey, right? Just like grounding is, okay? And grounding is a tool, and it should be utilized throughout the day when we need it, okay? Um, for an example, okay, I do grounding when I have my flare-ups for fibro. Yes, I have fibromyalgia. It is what it is. I don't talk about it. It's because it's part of my life. I don't see it as a big deal. Um, it just is what it is. Okay. So I use grounding to kind of help facilitate um, getting rid of that pain or that discomfort. Okay. To the point where my physical body is okay with letting it go. Not all the way, because my body will be going, where did it go? Where did it go? Okay, that's the point where the body would go through shock. And if the body goes through shock, it might just decide to give it more pain or decide to make me nauseous or other fun stuff. That's what happens when the body goes through shock, okay? When the body is like, where did all my stuff go? The body goes through shock. That's a different topic on its own. If you haven't seen that topic, check out my self-healing videos. I cover a little bit of that there, okay? So basically, I let go of as much as I can, all that inflammation and pain, and ground it into the ground, and and I ground myself as well, but to the point where I'm comfortable. Okay. Another way I use grounding, okay, is when I'm, say, doing spirit work. Okay, so I will ground myself before I do spirit work, so doing readings or assisting healing or meditation or even cleaning someone's house. Okay, I will be grounded before I do that. All right. That's because I want to make sure that my spirit is meshed with my body and aligned and focused before I do that work. And then once I'm done that work, okay, I want to do that grounding again and make sure that my spirit is back into my body where it's meant to be. Because when I do spirit work, my spirit could be like way out there, okay, and not anywhere near me. And that's the fun part of being a bit of a channel, is that my spirit could be like way out there and not anywhere near me. So that's why I need to ground myself after I'm done, because it's like dealing with two different variations of me. Dealing with the channeled me is like dealing with kind of like a brain dead, clean slate, like, okay, and dealing with me as a grounded person, you're actually talking to me. All right, so that's the difference. just saying that, okay. So those are examples of how I ground and why I ground, okay. Now there are different types of grounding. There's different types of methods to grounding, okay. It is up to you as an individual to find out the method that works for you. Okay, I'm not saying that these methods that I have here are calculated to work for you. Okay, they might not work for you. All right, but I'm not saying don't try them. They might work for you. Okay, definitely try them out. See if they work. If they don't work, they don't work. Okay, there might be something else out there on the World Wide Web that could work for you, or there might be something that's in a book that you can relate to better, or from someone else who has had more personal experience with it, or can lead you through it better than, say, what I can or someone else can, you know. So, like I said, these are just methods, and do what you will with it. Okay. The first one I'm going to discuss is crystal energy. And yes, you can utilize crystals to assist you with grounding. Okay. We can utilize them by wearing them as pendants, rings, bracelets. You can put your stones in a pouch, a small pouch, put them in your pocket. I recommend putting them in a pouch just so that way you don't lose them out of your pocket. It's just easier to find them instead of like trying to fish them out of your pocket too. That's never fun. I prefer it that way because I seem to misplace them if they are loose in my pocket. Great grounding stones are onyx, tourmaline, garnet, carnelian, smoky quartz, shungite, hematite, okay? Red jasper is another one. Also, a lot of people kind of skip over this one, but this is not a crystal. It's just a rock. Just a plain old rock. Go out walking through the forest. Maybe pick it out from a creek, a stream, by a lake, whatever you, ocean. Okay. The intent you want to set up when you're going for this walk is, please show me the stone that I meant to bring home. Okay. And it will catch your eye. You will find the stone that you're meant to bring home. The stone is a grounding stone for you. Okay. It will show itself. So if you put the intent out there, it will show itself to you, and that it's meant to you. Okay. It's not a crystal, it's just a stone. But it is a grounding stone, okay? And you don't have to pay for it. It was just meant there for you on your walk, on your journey. Okay? There you have it. It doesn't have to be fancy. Alright? Another way of grounding is earthing. Literally taking your socks and shoes off and putting your toes in between the grass and the dirt and wiggling them around, or walking through the grass and dirt, okay? Going back and forth. You're going to be doing this until you feel like you're connected, until you feel like your spirit and physical body are meshed, until you feel like you're coming down, okay? Until you feel like you're you, okay? Until you feel like you're good, you're solid, alright? Another variation of earthing as well is rubbing your feet against the floor. Sometimes I do that when I'm done meditating, or if I'm done reading. I do that as well before I read too. I also rub my hands together too, to help with grounding. I don't know why I use my hands for grounding, but I do. But I also do that to facilitate energy. So that's another way to ground. Another kind of form of earthing is rubbing your feet against the ground, the floor, carpet, what have you. It's just so much as the intent, the same idea of grounding, the intent, right? The intent of you grounding yourself, of being connected to earth. Okay. Another one is, going outdoors. Very, very simple. Going for a walk out in the forest, going for a walk by the lake, having that connected piece with Mother Nature itself, and feeling that connectedness. Definitely really aids in that piece for you to ground. If you have a green thumb, awesome, even better. Getting your fingers into the dirt, okay? Playing with the dirt. Even if you don't have a green thumb, just sticking your fingers in the dirt, okay? And feeling that as well. Maybe even, as funny as it sounds, go hug a tree. And feeling that connected piece. Any kind of form of connection to earth really helps with that grounding piece that you need. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Simple visualization. Okay. Simply visualizing yourself and roots coming from your feet into the earth can certainly assist. Okay. Remember, not all tree roots are deep roots. Okay. Some are surface roots, which I myself forgot until it was retold to me. For each individual, they will find their own tolerance or where they need to be for grounding. Some people need deep grounding, others only need light grounding. Okay. As a side note, I was conversing with one of the individuals that I look up to, and I asked, why is it that I can't seem to ground properly? Okay, properly to me is like deep grounding, right? Like, I'm grounded. But she told me that it's not because I wasn't doing it properly, but it was because the fact that I can't handle being grounded to a deep level, okay, which is completely different, okay? And it's true, I can't handle being grounded deeply, okay? When I think about being grounded, I think about being like right on deep grounded, right? Planted firmly into the earth. But I've had my experience with Reiki masters and what have you, and they have grounded me to a point where it was a deep grounding, and it made me lose my cookies. Okay, I was extremely nauseous, and I lost my cookies. I felt extremely off balance. I had migraines, really bad, and you know, it was just because they were telling me, oh, it's because your spirit, it's because your soul wasn't in your body, blah blah blah. Well, no, it was because the fact that I wasn't meant to be grounded that deeply. Um, I was only meant to be grounded to a certain level. And some people are like that, okay? And some people only need a certain amount of grounding, and some people are meant to be grounded all the way, okay? And so it's so much as trying to find that certain amount of grounding for you. And you will know when you have had enough grounding intuitively in your gut. You'll be like, oh, no, that's good. I'm good to go, okay? For me, I have surface roots. I'm a surface root type of tree. That's me. Okay? You might be a deep, deep tree. Maybe you're a surface root tree. Maybe you're a medium root tree. You'll just have to find out for yourself. Okay? Another way of doing this grounding is through meditation. Okay? You can do a meditation. You can find meditations out there for you to do. Okay, the meditation I have is very quick. Okay, so it's take a few deep breaths, relax your body, let your mind go blank, releasing all the worries and thoughts. I want you to imagine this white light coming from you, traveling down through your feet and toes, creating white light and traveling down into the ground. These roots going deeper and deeper. Let these roots go all the way down to the core of the earth center, letting that energy come back up to your being and feeling it stabilize you, nurture you, and ground you. Keep focused on this visualization for as long as you need it to, until you feel grounded. Ground yourself to where you feel comfortable. Now bring your roots back up to your being and disconnect from the earth. Now remember that when you do that meditation, you don't have to put those roots all the way down to the core, okay? You can always put them down as far as you want them to go. Okay, the idea behind it is to just get to the purpose of feeling that grounded, that connected piece, and making sure that your spirit and your physical are connected as one. Okay, and like I said, as much earth energy as you can tolerate. Okay. Another way that I experience for grounding, which is a very interesting way, is by food and drink. Okay. I found this out at a young age. My mom used to hold gatherings at our home, and always afterwards, after meditations and conversing with like-minded individuals, it would bring on this spiritual thirst, spiritual hunger, and it would feel like you would be still floating outside your body. You were not grounded. No siree. So by eating and drinking, you were able to ground quickly. Probably a lot more quickly than if you were to actually ground through meditation, especially in such a large group of like-minded individuals. I will say that orange juice was my go-to. Some people hate orange juice, but orange juice was my go-to anyways, for grounding. I don't know what it was about orange juice, but I think it might have been the electrolytes in orange juice, because the electrolytes in orange juice are very high. I can't prove that theory, but maybe one day I will. I find that natural fruits, once again, the natural fruits will help ground. Anything with sugars in them, dark chocolate is also a very good grounder. Anything that's sweet will help ground. I'm not making that excuse up for those that like sweet stuff, that have a good sweet tooth. But it seems to hold true. I will say that if you don't want to be like completely grounded, but you want to be grounded just a wee bit, is to have a small snack, okay, versus a meal. If you have a meal, a full meal, you'll be grounded completely. So if you are working, if you are doing readings for people, and you don't want to be grounded completely because you're like in the middle of reading for people. Say if you're like at a psychic fair, or if you're doing card pulls for people, right? You don't want to have yourself meal and be completely grounded, because then you have to reboot your system and get back out there again spirit wise. Instead, you'd have a small meal to kind of balance yourself. Large meals tend to really put you down, okay? And then you stay down for a while. So if you're looking for that kind of grounding, have yourself a big meal, okay? Water, is also good. I don't find water to do too much. Unless you have like water with like the flavor in it, I find that seems to be okay. Water on itself doesn't seem to do anything for me, but maybe for some people. And I think that's about it for what I have for tools. Yeah. I did find some interesting things though, while I was researching different grounding things. That they have something called grounding shoes or earthing shoes. You can look it up yourself. Very interesting. They also have these grounding mats that you can put on your mattress to help facilitate grounding while you sleep or meditate on your bed. Very interesting again. I personally probably wouldn't have one on my mattress. That's just me. The shoes, though, that would be pretty cool. I probably wouldn't wear them for long durations. Once again, to each his own, right? If you want to be grounded completely or deeply, then maybe that would be your thing. Or if you have a hard time with visualization, meditation, then maybe that's your thing, because people work in different ways, right? We have to keep that in mind too. One thing to keep in mind too is that we have to remember that if we're starting to feel kind of out of sorts, out of balance, feeling scattered, anxious, worried, physically in pain, we might want to reassess again and see whether or not we need to do a little bit of tweaking and see if we need to reground or do a quick ground and see if that helps anything, okay? It's good to kind of check on things throughout the day when it comes to grounding, shielding, things like that, especially when we are in a work environment or if we're out and about in public, because it can be draining especially for those who are strong empaths, and those who are working on a very high sensitive energetic uh, field as well. So we need to keep that in mind, is we need to do little quick checks here and there throughout the day to make sure that what we're feeling is our stuff and not somebody else's. So I think that's all I can say about grounding. Like I said, remember that you are an individual. Your grounding might be different than somebody else's, okay? Your techniques might be different than somebody else's. You might need to tweak your technique to fit what you need, okay? And that's okay, right? Everybody works differently. Everybody operates differently, okay? What I might do is different from what you would do, okay? And that's something to keep in mind. And also to keep in mind too is that when we start figuring things out, okay, when we start from learning something new, is that we're not going to learn it in one day, okay? It's going to take practice, okay? And we need to remember that. Practice, 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 right? So don't be feeling self-defeated on that, okay? You just need to stick with it and just keep going with it, right? So those are my advices to you. So I hope this was helpful for some of you, and I hope this was a bit of a kind of crash course refresher for some of you as well. And with that, I am going to get ready and crash course myself to bed. Alright guys, you all have a wonderful evening, and I hope this weekend brings lots of good stuff your way. Alright, take care guys. See you soon.